Well, hello there. Let's talk about how to supersize or maybe even save your business on a shoestring. I love shoestrings. I used to have a whole collection of shoestrings, and it's really funny that by my video making and audio making setup, I happen to have a shoestring sitting close by. Why on earth do I have a shoestring sitting close by? I don't even recall now. I don't remember why, but I do have one because shoestrings are very flexible. There's a lot of things you can do with shoestrings if you are resourceful. Now, on a shoestring, of course, means generally to all of us on a strict budget or with very little money, right? Assuming that money is our only resource. A lot of us falsely believe, I used to falsely believe, that you couldn't get anything done if you didn't have money. You had to have money to make money. How many of us believe that? Got to have money to make money. Don't have to have money to make money. You have to be resourceful to make money. You have to be willing to work hard. You have to put in some kind of resources to get money as a resource in return. You have to give value first, but you don't have to have money to make money. You have to have an idea. You have to want to follow up with that idea. You have to put in work and effort and time and energy. Money is just an exchange of energy, right? So you can use any kind of energy to exchange for money, right? Yes, of course you can. So, shoestring budget. Interesting idiom in that they don't really know where it came from. They being word experts, people way smarter than me that look into these things. It just appeared in the late 1800s. I think maybe a wise or crafty or creative author came up with the idea of comparing shoestrings because they were like an old string, and it was the kind of thing that a lot of people could relate to. And a string, a thin string, is kind of like being on a tight budget or not having very much money. Probably wrote it in something, but obviously the internet can't find it and can't find the origin of it. But it actually stuck. The idiom and the saying stuck. On a shoestring budget. I think I've used both terms and had both terms. I've certainly experienced being on a shoestring budget and feeling like I was out of money and out of options. And it wasn't until I let myself get creative and get resourceful that I actually accomplished the things I wanted to accomplish. Remember, my first job out of college was actually making toilet paper for Procter & Gamble, and I was on salary and I was paid once a month in that job. And I had always, up until that point, any job that I'd had or any money or income that I had came in weekly. And so it was easy for me to know, hey, I have this much money coming in this week, I can spend this money. And of course, like everyone, back when you first, start getting money and spending money, I spent every cent that I had as quickly as it came into my possessions. So the first few months, just the first few months before I got burned and learned that when you get paid once a month, it's easy to run through your money and not understand that sometimes there's more month left at the end of your money. And I experienced that for a couple of months in a row before I realized, okay, this isn't working for me. I better have a plan how I'm going to budget and allocate my resources, my limited dollar resources at the time, because I was just working at a job. This was before I was out of college, and so I kind of let go of my younger businesses, and I was just working a job. It's one of the few times in my life that I only worked at my job, at my profession. Soon after that, actually the very next year, I got back into businesses, and I always, throughout my corporate career, had a business on the side. So I was kind of always dual running. And I think that it actually gave me an edge in corporate America because I thought like a business owner. And when you think like a business owner, you make different decisions than when you think just, like an employee. And I think that served me really well and helped me move really quickly through my corporate career. But on a shoestring, that was my actual first experience. Was that first job was, more month at the end of my money, and that was not a good feeling. I've also been in businesses where I got short of resources and ran out of resources. I found that when a business is growing really, really fast, resources and money and cash flow becomes a very big deal and a very big challenge. And you have to get resourceful in those situations to make sure that your business continues to grow and continues to have the opportunity to grow. One of the worst feelings is your business having to stall out and you not being able to make some of the moves that you want to make for your business because you don't have the resources. And that's when we put on our work caps and our thinking caps and our relationship caps and our creativity caps, and we get moving to get resourceful. I found that, and I recommend during times like this, of times of change and chaos and the unknown, whatever situation we're in, if we maintain our focus and our vision on the long term, where we're going with our businesses as well as our lives, we'll make better decisions than if we focus on the current crisis or the current situation. Make decisions on purpose toward where we want to go and not out of fear. Anytime I've ever made a decision out of fear in the past, it's pretty much turned out badly and ended up not being the best or the right decision for me or my business, or in some instances my family, because we make decisions out of fear a lot of the time. And when we're feeling afraid or anxious or worried or doubtful or uncertain, which many business owners are right now, we tend to react and make short-term survival decisions versus long-term decisions. And there's so many examples of we could talk about in that. If you want to talk about that more, just hit me up and ask in the comments below, and I'll give you some wisdom on making decisions out of fear and panic versus thinking about the big picture and the long-term ramifications of decisions. That applies to everything in our life. So, on a shoestring. Are you on a shoestring? Whether your business is growing and expanding lightning fast, or you're just in survival mode because your business is shut down right now, remember, maintain your long-term vision, make decisions based on the long-term and on your purpose and where you're going, not just on a short-term crisis, and get resourceful, because each and every one of us have within us the ability to be resourceful, especially when our resources are on a shoestring. When we feel like we're lacking money, there's a lot of ways we can be resourceful. All right, take care, have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you apply it to your life and business right now? Take care, have an awesome day. Bye.